The Steelers are top 10 in pass yards, and they're going up against the Browns, who will need to be ready to cover a lot of space. And with that, we'll send you up to the north shore of Pittsburgh at Heinz Field by the Three Rivers, as we head it over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, at Heinz Field. Today we've got an interesting Week 11 matchup on tap between the Cleveland Browns and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in playing pretty well, 6-3 in their last 9 games. Meanwhile, for the Browns here, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes it actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
Fielded about a yard deep. Look at the spin. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
An absolute prototype for what you draw up as a big, strong quarterback that has to stay in the pocket and make big throws with people all around him and even hanging on him, and still has that type of strength to get the ball downfield. Ben Roethlisberger, an absolute rock in the pocket, but he also can escape and make big plays that way as well.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. On your screen now, here are the offensive starters. At wideout, Antonio Brown is certainly someone that the defense always has to account for.
Without a doubt, a true number 1 receiver. It doesn't matter to him how defenses want to cover him. He sees it as a challenge and knows how to defeat them.
On second down, Roethlisberger looking for Green, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to take over at the 39-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. 6 yards on the pickup, and it's a second down. They'll set up to throw. He's got a man. It's Corey Coleman. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down. Good use of the pass there to pick up the first down against a defensive look that they had specifically prepared for, they told us, coming into this one.
Certainly seems like they're holding all the right cards now, doesn't it? Because of their preparation. Went back, watched the tape, studied the tendencies, and they feel like they had them down cold, and they were able to use the pass against them.
Now a carry for Terrence McGee. And they're going to lose some on this play. Being knocked back to the 18. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
I think Cameron Hayward's ability to take on blocks, hold the point of attack, and get upfield serves him very, very well. What a nice play there.
Well, he can take on blocks because he's built like a block. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face a third down.
Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
And he lost the football, and it's picked up by the Steelers. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So the defense there, opportunistic.
It's nice to give them credit, isn't it? Because so many times it's more a matter of what the offensive guy didn't do. He didn't secure the ball, didn't cover up. In this case, just give credit to where it belongs. Knocked it free, made a big play.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
I'm actually surprised they didn't get out of that play. I didn't see anyone pressing the line of scrimmage for the defense.
Play action. It's Roethlisberger. He's got time in the pocket. And he'll be out of bounds right A good pickup there, 26 yards. You know, when I see passes like that, I'm reminded of something you and I talked about yesterday. Big Ben was a wide receiver the first 3 years of high school, sitting behind the coach's son. And then he finally got that opportunity. I think he's made the most of it.
It's always the coach's son, isn't it? But you know where it helps him? When he looks downfield, he knows what the receivers are going to do. He actually has wide receivers' eyes when he's throwing the ball.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
They run again with Woodhead. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. And now the starting defense for the Browns.
If your day involves blocking Danny Shelton, you better pack lunch and dinner. It's an all-day job.
Two yards to go here on third down. Here's Woodhead. And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the first. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
So the run moves the chains, and here we go on first down. They run with Woodhead. And he's going to take this one down inside the 45. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it second and a foot or so.
Really tough drive, but that run helped salvage something there because now there's something positive that came out of it. They got to see good blocking, good push by the offensive line, wide receivers trying to get involved, a good run by the back, and now maybe it'll be a catalyst for them to look at going forward, watching it on tape. Maybe they can keep incorporating that type of a run into their offense.
So a turnover-filled first quarter of play comes to an end. 0-0 our score. EA Sports NFL Sunday returns following this.
This presentation of the NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Snickers. You're off your game when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Back with Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin. It's Steeler football to begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving.
Watch tight, tight ends right. Watch tight, tight ends right. Hey, 4 down.
Bryant spread out to the right. Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. And it's complete to Ladarius Green. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now it's Woodhead. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Tough day. Tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Woodhead. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger surveying the field. Under pressure, and he'll go down. Sacked back at the 31. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
Now a field goal forthcoming for the Steelers. This will be spotted at the 37, so it's a 47-yard attempt. I don't think this will even, nope, it doesn't even get there. Well short, and this will remain a scoreless game. So it's a sloppy beginning for them. An interception on their opening drive, and now a missed field goal here on drive number 2.
Doesn't feel like they've shown up yet. It's been a very flat start. And against a team like this, you just can't.
The ball popped in the air and intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Yes, the old tip drill works to perfection there.
You're bringing back great memories. Used to love that drill. And a lot of times in practice, you work on it, not just one tip, but multiple tips, just in case the ball stays in the air for a while, to have an awareness and the ability to go up and grab it, and then you want to get some blocking support and end up in the opposite end zone.
In that tip drill, what do you yell?
For us, it was Oski. Okay, Oski was an interception.
Different teams.
Different teams have different ways of doing it. I've heard bingo, jackpot. The worst I ever heard, though, was Frankenstein. You don't want it to be a three-syllable word. Yeah. You want to get it right down and go. Oski is really the preferred word.
Oski.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And the kick goes outside the white lines. That's why the flag comes out.
Yes, and that was an error by the kicker, and it will give the offense great starting field position.
They'll run with McGee. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now, that's the type of play that'll fire up a defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target.
And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. Back to Heinz Field after this. A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. They come up in an offset eye. They'll look to throw here on first down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. They showed off a nice juke of the defender before the next wave could bring him down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion. And both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. Now they'll run it on the toss. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, they know how to protect the pass, but sometimes cornerbacks, they can also stop the run, can't they?
Is that what we call a complete corner? Yeah, because we're so used to these guys just being defenders in the pass game. How about the guys who can come up and make the tackles? That's what we just saw there for no gain, too.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Throwing the slant pattern here, complete. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down.
Slant route's effective no matter who's running the route and catching the ball. And when you have a receiver of that stature, you have to be a little bit more precise throwing it. You don't have the same catch radius with the bigger targets.
They'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. And now they're in the hurry up. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Their dangerous wide receiver as the first half is winding down. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying this thing up. And a little time left on the clock, so on the other side, they're thinking, gosh, we'd like to get that lead right back.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. Here I am going ahead and tapping out the first half.
Well,
there's still time. They've got to make a decision about what they want to do on the kickoff, whether they want to let their return guy touch it.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. The return man now is Danny Woodhead. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. Over the middle here to Brown. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. So we've got a 2nd and 5. On 2nd down, Roethlisberger. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And unless this is a quick incompletion, this is likely the last play here of this first half. Final play of the half. It's Roethlisberger. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Here's Roethlisberger. His throw incomplete. So a touchdown apiece. Well, we're going to let you off a little easy there, LR. Halftime interrupted, and we are ready to get to this third quarter. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And from back there, a wise move. He'll just sit on this one, and it'll come out to the 25. Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They have a chance to break our tie here as we get a look at the first drive of quarter 3.
And it's such a tone setter, isn't it? Because both sides trying to seize momentum to begin the half. What do they have dialed up that'll give them an advantage to move the ball downfield?
Let's find out what they have dialed up. And this one's incomplete.
Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. And he comes back with one complete. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Some pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
They come out here in the eye. Here's McGee. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That was a good run, and it got to the second level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle. And oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
They'll go to the air here on 3rd and 2. He'll rifle this one deep right side. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. A big play there with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Browns have taken the lead.
I know we often laugh, and sometimes we even exalt the guys who are great trash talkers and give us some really funny lines. But the bottom line is absolute production on the field. His 2nd touchdown of the game, and they lead.
And now they'll be looking to their defense to preserve that lead. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Time for the Steelers offense now to get set for their first possession of half number 2. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
He's got time. He'll drop it underneath for Woodhead. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh shut it down.
So many. Times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
After watching that play and result, I go back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator, Brandon, before the game and said, how are you going to move the ball running it against the #1 defense? He gave us no indication, didn't tip his hand at all, so we have to see how this unfolds.
Oh, wide open, complete, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Martavis Bryant, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, That meant fly route, go. Uh-oh, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now a play fake here on first down. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll come out in the pistol. Here's the option going right. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. Second down, offense behind the sticks here. 2nd and 13. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. They need to get this to the 24 on 3rd down. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry-up.
If you're running out route, it's likely you end up near the sideline.
He rifles one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And the return here will go to the 31-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. The wise move there, looked like nobody open. Now second down. Second down here after the incomplete pass.
Here we go.
2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. Finding time. Dumps it off to Woodhead. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 23 yards on the play.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. So both teams trade touchdowns in the third as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. All square, 14 apiece to score as we get ready for the 4th quarter. On the ground, this is Woodhead. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. 5 yards to gain here on 3rd down.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Give him 5 yards there, and it's enough for the first.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And Bryant's got it over the middle. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Martavis Bryant with his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Steelers are going to take the lead.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, 2 by sea. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
And, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw.
I wouldn't be shocked at all right now if there's a look of surprise on the big fella's face because he had the route that he wanted, running the corner, and usually he's able to use his body and catch the football, but a really nice play by the defenders, able to knock it away.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Over the middle, the catch by Coleman. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
That was a nice pickup, some chunk yardage there. Some of those big yards downfield with a little bit of rack thrown in there, a little run after catch. And it came on a crossing route. I could just hear one of my friends who won 4 Super Bowls as a quarterback always said the same thing. What route does a defense hate? Crossing route. Hate it, hate it, hate it, because it's hard to change direction when they get going full speed in the other way.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And that one got tipped, kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
So much of this game is about leverage. We always talk about low man wins in the trenches. Well, it's like that in just about every position. And sometimes, if you lose that leverage and you're losing the battle, just jump up at the line of scrimmage and try and bat the ball away. And that's exactly what happened there.
And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line. They're going to hurry back to the line now. Let's go! Back to throw now on 1st down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off. And this one will be brought back to the 22.
I tell you, Brandon, it seems like this guy's been all over the field so far. That's his 2nd interception of the game. And so much of playing defense in the NFL, especially when it comes to defending the pass, is all about positioning and technique. And this is fantastic work on both fronts there.
They under a heavy rush, and down he goes. That one will set him back nearly 10 yards here on 1st down on the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest ones, maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
It looks like a nickel set now for the Browns on 3rd down. They go play action now. Roethlisberger. And that one goes incomplete on the drop. That's one he definitely normally catches. 4th down. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. taken from just outside the 30. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. On that quick throw, what do you think? Possibly something they saw at the line to go there?
Possibly in the game plan. And you notice they went with an empty backfield. No backs there.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They bring the safety on the blitz, and he busts through to drop him for an 8-yard loss. Offense trying to avoid stalling out, facing a 3rd and 10. And their inaugural sack of the game coming from an unlikely source.
You mean it wasn't a linebacker? It wasn't a defensive end?
It was somebody like you.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, that's a surprise for the offense. That's not what they normally get when they think about pressure.
Down 7, and they've got to go for it here on 4th down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. They'll look to throw. And this is caught. He hits more. And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. It's a big-time play there on 4th and 10. 44 yards. And they're going to speed things up here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Again, they'll run. This is McGee. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. And he'll have a tough time living that one down. It's one thing, Charles, to drop a pass. It's quite another to drop it on 4th down.
And so many teams work on that in terms of locking in on those key downs. You know, you and I have both been to practices where we've seen, hey, 3rd down situation, big 3rd down alert, lock in here. 4th down play, make sure you're focused just a little bit extra. It didn't pay off in that situation.
And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Steelers, they keep pace for a playoff spot as they move to 7-3. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Baltimore Ravens next week. Meanwhile, for Cleveland, add another loss to the pile as they drop to 2-8 now on the year. And they'll try to get back to their winning ways next week as they head to KC to take on the Chiefs. So that'll do it. For my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry, I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. The Steelers are winners as we say so long from Heinz Field.